wideouts are as good as we've seen. Lucas and Garrett were really outstanding players. They outplayed us on special teams. They blocked a punt. They forced a fumble on a kickoff return. I thought he had them ready to play, and they were really a physical team. So I think that shows the strength of our conference when we have good teams playing each other. And I thought Tulsa was really a strong physical team. And now on a short week we have to get ourselves ready for an excellent Houston team. So happy that we got the win last week. Really appreciated our crowd and the support we had on a rainy day. I was proud of our kids. It was the first time in my time here that we came back to win. We had the lead, did not have the lead in the fourth quarter. Our kids came back and scored, to win the game. So really pleased with our kids, finding a way to finish a game the right way, which has been hard for us in the past. And now we just have to get ourselves ready to go play Coach Levine's ball club, who came in here last year and beat us at home. So.
Any questions for Coach Rhule, please? Star 1 on your telephone to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
Thank you. Jeff Nyberg, Philadelphia Daily News.
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, Jeff?
Good. You've talked a lot this year about the guys having, a newfound respect for winning, something you've tried to instill in them. And this, now you have a big stretch coming up with Houston on the road, UCF on the road, ECU at home. How prepared for that stretch do you feel the team is right now?
I don't know. This will be their first time, going into those games, back to back against, such, high-quality teams. Where they're at least given a chance. We'll probably be underdogs in those games, but at least people. At least we it's not like last year where we were just kind of hanging on. So I think what our guys are going to have to do is they're going to have to understand that they just have to go back and every week get themselves ready to play, study the game plan, do the things that they can control, and then go out there and play. And as I said to our guys, be ready for fourth quarter games. I mean, that's what Saturday was. That's what hopefully this Friday night will be, and we have to be really comfortable, in games that come down to the end.
And you mentioned Saturday after the game, you're going to go right to work and start preparing for Houston. What sort of challenges do you feel Houston's going to present Friday night?
Yeah, and I didn't really follow through. I actually watched some college football. That was a taxing game, but no, I think Houston's outstanding. They have tremendous wide receivers. I was sad to see that they had the one kid get hurt, but Greenberry's just a great player. He hurt us last year. We had a really hard time with him. Markeith Ambles, Ayers, they're all really good, wide receivers. They're a running football team. They have two great backs. We couldn't tackle them last year, Farrell and Jackson, and then with the emergence of Greg Ward Jr., I mean, he's a headache. He's just a dynamic playmaking quarterback who can throw it and he can run it, whether it's designed or not. So, they've been one of the top offenses in the country for the last 10 years for a reason. And then defensively, I think it's 29 or 30 straight games that they forced a turnover. I think it's 30 straight games they forced a turnover. So they forced 19 this year. So, they got 3 against us last year, and that's what they do. They're outstanding, talent-wise, and we'll have a work cut out.
Thanks, Matt.
Sir.
Moving on, we'll hear from Henry Clay from CBS Radio Sports Philadelphia.
Good afternoon, Matt. How are you?
I'm great, Henry. How are you, sir?
Good. 2 questions. Are PJ and Jalen Fitzpatrick becoming the best unknown pitch and catch tandem in the country right now?
That's a great question. I don't know that I can quantify it, but I know that they've certainly found a synergy amongst each other, and I think it's 5 straight games that Jalen's had over 100 yards receiving, a touchdown in every game, and really at big moments, in big times. A lot of them in the fourth quarter. So I think that those guys are really learning to find each other, and PJ found someone that he can trust.
And my second question is, after the 4th and 1 late in the game, it looked like the light just went on, and those guys what happened on the bench? You were there. I wasn't. They turned that whole complexion of that game around.
I just think our kids, I think our kids know that the way we try to play football is to try to get better and better and better in the fourth quarter. And one thing I did share with our team was I said our coaches couldn't have been more aggressive in that game. And I think our kids fed off that. We faked a field goal. We went for it. We had the ball on our own inch line with a minute left, and we didn't run the ball. We came out and we threw it and went 99 yards. We went for it on 4th down 4 times. So I think our kids just fed off that energy and the fact that we do, in fact, have confidence in them, and they play with confidence after that.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Sure.
Dan Tortora, Broadcast Media.
Hey, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. I know you just talked a little bit about P.J. Walker, but coming from Elizabeth, New Jersey, Northeast talent, typically when you hear about quarterbacks, there's a lot of publicity for the South. What can you say about not only what P.J. is doing at Temple, but the fact that he's doing it showcasing Northeast talent going to a Northeast school?
Well, I've had the good fortune of being at Temple now for, I guess it's been about 8 years with a year off, and I just know there's just such outstanding football players and quarterbacks in Pennsylvania, in New Jersey, from Maryland on New York State up into Connecticut, and really where PJ's from, those North Jersey counties, there's just a lot of really good football players, and they take football really seriously. So, when we've been able to get kids like him, they've done well. Jihad Thomas was his high school running back at Elizabeth, and Jihad, had whatever he had, 130, 150, I'm not sure how many yards, 152 yards on Saturday. So that's a pretty good duo from one high school, playing for us as sophomores. So just a credit to them and their high school coaches and Pop Warner coaches and the way they treat football in Elizabeth.
You talk about the tenure that you've had at Temple. Defining Temple football, I think, through different coaches and over different times has meant different things. What does it mean to you for the Temple Owls? What is this program, and how would you define it?
Well, I think we're a program that wants to represent our university, a tremendous university, the right way. We want to play championship caliber football. We want to play championship caliber football. We want to be outstanding students, and we want to play a certain style, and that style is really based on toughness. As Coach Chaney, who's a hallmark of Temple, said, you have to be tough to play football and play basketball here. So we want to be a tough, relentless, fearless team, and I think our kids are starting to understand that. We want to play games into the fourth quarter, never be scared of the moment, and play our brand of football. So we don't always do it, but we're trying to do it, and the whole point of what we're trying to do here is to build it so that in 10 years, when players come back, they'll recognize the brand that we're playing.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Donald Hunt, Philadelphia Tribune.
Man, how you doing? Hello, Matt.
I said, hey, how you been, Don? You doing all right?
Okay, man. I'm doing great, man. Listen, you mentioned Jihad Thomas and playing with PJ, and can you talk a little bit more about that? And when he came down, did you realize the bundle of talent that he has, and just talk about what he's been able to bring to you guys in terms of his play?
Yeah, I think we recruited PJ knowing what we had there, and really, as we watched the tape, we just kept seeing Jihad make plays, and he came in, and we wanted him to play tailback, and we just had a need at corner, and a credit to him and the athlete that he is. He played corner as a true freshman and returned kicks and did some things, but I don't think we ever realized that he was going to have this kind of an impact, even though PJ's told me 100 times. We moved him over in camp, and he's had flashes, and I was happy for him that he's able to put a bunch of plays together. And the other thing I don't want to be lost in the mix is, when we recruited those guys, we also recruited Jihad Pretlow, who started for us at safety, had a couple pass breakups in the game, who's been starting since he was a true freshman. And all three of those kids are all from the same hometown. Jihad went to a different school, but they all played Pop Warner together. And really, I tell our coaches all the time, make sure someone goes back to Elizabeth and see who else is there, because, that's been a great, great town for this program in the last year.
Yeah. So now Jihad came over as a cornerback then originally, right?
Yeah, we signed him as an athlete. We played him at corner all last year, and he didn't start, but he played in all of our nickel and dime and played in all our teams. But this year with more depth and the great job that I think we played 4 freshman cornerbacks on Saturday, and so those kids that have come in did a really good job. We were able to move Jihad back to his natural position.
Yeah. And how about him coming out of the backfield as a receiver, because he was catching some passes for you against Tulsa?
Yeah, he did. He did a great job. And then Jamie Gilmore, our other running back, for him to have yards receiving. But I thought it was a really nice job by Jihad. You know, that was a crucial touchdown at the end of the game. You know, I mean, he made a guy miss, you know, stuck it and got outside. And I thought he gave us a real spark in the Connecticut game when he caught the ball out of the backfield and had like a 20-yard run after that. So, you know, just trying to find more and more things that Jihad can do, and he's really intelligent. He's a smart football player, so his role will continue to grow.
Okay. Thanks a lot, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Bob Morrison, 24/7 Sports.
Coach, last year when you played Houston, you had O'Korn as the quarterback, and now they have Greg Ward. And I read in the Houston Chronicle, Tony Levin was talking about he was going to start tinkering with the offense. I'm just curious, what's the difference between last year, and did you notice anything different from after watching the films against Memphis?
Well, you know, just and John's played this year, you know, and so when O'Korn's been in there, you know, he's a classic drop back quarterback. He does an outstanding job getting the ball to his receivers, and he can run the football. He's a big, strong, powerful kid. You know, I think Ward, you know, they've done a little bit different things with him in terms of, you know, there's some design quarterback runs. But the biggest thing is you can see him when it's not there. I mean, he gets out and really hurt Memphis with his feet. So he can throw and he can run. So they're both similar. It's just that you know, they run the same offense. It's just that Ward's probably just a little bit more of a runner and a little bit more dynamic with his feet.
I'd like to have you talk about two of the calls on Saturday. In your press conference, you had made reference to the Deloach reception or non-reception, and then just before the end of the first half, Tulsa was called for roughing the passer, which eventually led to a Temple touchdown. The ESPN announcers thought that the roughing the passer call was, they used the term dubious. I'm just curious what your thoughts were and what you saw from the films about those two calls.
You know, they're both judgment calls, and the one thing I try to do, I get fiery probably on the sideline, but those guys are pros. When they make a call, I state what I think and I move on, and usually what I end up seeing is when I come back and watch it on tape, I see what they saw. You know, I mean, and you know, both those were just kind of bang calls. They made a decision, they went with it, and you know, the one thing I wanted to do on the Roman's play is I wanted to challenge it for our team. I wanted our team to understand that even though I knew we were going to run the fake field goal, I wanted our team to know that, you know, we were going to be as aggressive as possible as coaches. And you know, I wanted to set the tone for them with that. But both of them, you know, I mean, it's, you know, they were kind of, I have the remote in my hand, but they're both just, you know, bang calls. And you know, I have to live with, you know, whatever they say.
A final question, Coach. Since you're playing on Friday night, I know you had experience when you were in the MAC playing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. What's the difference between playing on a Friday versus playing like in midweek?
You know, it's really only about, you know, as you look at it, it's really, because we're playing at 9 o'clock Eastern time, it's really, you know, I'm not real good with math, but it's about 15-hour difference. That's it. It's just a night's sleep. So we're keeping most of our same schedule on. We're not going to, you know, change a bunch of days. One thing we did do is we came in on Sunday and worked, and then we'll give the kids this Saturday after the game off. So we just got a little extra work on Sunday. That's the only change we made.
All right. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Bob.
And we can get in one more for Coach Rhule, please.
Christopher Heidel, Herb FM Radio, Baltimore.
Hey, Coach Matt. Talk about Houston. What do you see on film that was different from you guys played them week 2 last year at home? What do you see this year on film?
You know, I think just, you know, it's a little bit different style with Ward as the quarterback, but it's the same team. I mean, the same players, you know, the same dynamic wideouts. You know, there's you know, we started that game last year. We threw a pick on the first play of the first half, and we fumbled on the first play of the second half. So that's how we started both halves. We finished with 3 turnovers in that game. You know, they finished with, you know, and that's kind of who they are. You know, they do a great job of just taking the ball from you. So, you know, I see the same team. They're just getting better and better and better, and their players are, you know, getting bigger, faster, stronger. I think on defense, you know, Coach Gibbs does a great job for them. I mean, their players really understand their scheme. So whatever you saw on tape last year, they're significantly better at it this year. So I think they're growing under Coach Gibbs and what he does on defense, and then offensively, obviously the emergence of Ward is something we have to deal with.
And talk about the atmosphere for you guys. You know, the city of Philadelphia is a big sports town. How are you guys being, loved by the fans of Philadelphia, knowing that you guys are doing really well this year? I'm one of those people. I'm kind of like a curmudgeon. I get up early and I go to work late, so I don't see too much. But I'm sure people are telling the kids that they're doing well, and I want the kids to have that experience. I just, my whole thing is, I want everyone to, I want our team to remember, how hard we were working last year when we had won one game and we were trying to win our second game, and just how desperate we were to work every day. I was proud of the kids, and as long as we have that same work ethic, then I'm good with it. So, it'll be a test for us. But I know here's what I do know: our team turned on the Houston tape, and they saw Deontay Greenberry and Markeith Ambles and Farrell and Jackson and Ward and on defense, all the great players they have on defense. Trevon Stewart's as good as there is, and I think that kind of snapped them back into reality of who we have to play Friday night. Well, good luck Friday.
Yes, thank you very much.
Coach, we thank you for the time today. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Thank you.